This is what happened. I was playing around with this Telecaster virtual instrument and digging this sound, because I've got it running through a emulation of a 59 Fender Bassman. And I like it. And I was playing. I'm fooling around with these three chords. Basically, there's some more, but I mean, it's basically just G minor and B flat and C. And I was having fun. So I just, what I did is I laid down a bass pattern and a drum track. That's just the bass and the drum. If you've been listening lately, you know that I've been wearing out Band of Gypsies and basically in a guitar mood for quite a while. But so I just wanted to do like a trio thing. What I wound up doing is I recorded an improvisation. I recorded about 6 minutes of just soloing on this thing, and it was fun, and I liked it. And it sounded like this. And then that's where the idea came to use this Miles Davis production trick. And you may be wondering which Miles Davis I'm talking about. It's the Miles Davis that when he first went electric, and he and Teo Macero, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, Teo Macero, devised this technique where Miles and his musicians would go in the studio and play very loose. And Miles was really interested in getting rid of as much structure ahead of time, chord changes, arrangements, all that thing. He wanted the music to just be completely improvised. And what they wound up doing, they were also, both of them, both Miles and Teo, were influenced by the work of Stockhausen, who had been working in music concrete and a lot of tape loops and editing of tape. So the idea is to go in the studio with these amazing musicians that Miles had and lay down stuff and then fit it together. It's kind of similar to what George Martin did with the Beatles in a lot of ways. It was using the studio as an instrument. And if you this is when Miles was with Columbia, and Teo was also a staff producer at the time for Columbia, and Teo should be a household name. He did have songs written for him, named for him by both Miles and Thelonious Monk, because Teo was responsible for signing Monk and Dave Brubeck, and he went beyond everything, just being a producer. Read Teo Macero's Wikipedia article. The guy was an amazing talent, and he and Miles worked hand in hand on some seminal records. They started doing this on. They'd been working together before, but they started this technique of assembling the record after the recording by editing. They started that with In a Silent Way and continued on through Bitches Brew and Jack Johnson and On the Corner and beyond all that. And if you are into it, as I am, I mean, I love Miles Davis. If you want to know why Miles Davis was one of my heroes, let me know in the comments, because I can do a video just talking about how amazing Miles Davis was. But Columbia has issued box sets called the Complete Bitches Brew Sessions, the Complete In a Silent Way Sessions, the Complete On the Corner. And you can listen to these. They're multi-disc. If you go and you listen to them, I come away going like, wow, it's that they were able to seamlessly put together such amazing finished records out of these loose jams. And I think Teo gets a lot of credit for that, but Miles was right up in it with him. But anyway, so what I did is, how does that apply to this, this blues-based thing that I'm doing, is that I recorded a loose jam that's just like a trio. I envisioned it like being in a roadhouse. I wound up titling it The Roadhouse at the End of the Road. But it needed reform, because it was just, if you just go on for 6 minutes, and some of the solo was just, I could just hear the Emperor telling me that there were too many notes, and I'm telling him that there are only so many notes as are required. But it did have too many notes, and it did have too much stuff, and it didn't have any form. And I thought, this could be cool. Instead of redoing it, take what I recorded and turn it into something. And I recorded some separate sections specifically for it, but some of them I just redid what was on there. Like, I took the first 8 bars that I played, and I redid the bass and the drums, and made that into an intro, and it goes like this. And right there, that's when it goes into the main groove, which I took the improvisation and just made it so that it would start at bar 9, which what was happening at bar 9 was this. So that goes on. And then I decided, like James Brown, I want to have a bridge. I want to go, fellas, take it to the bridge. And I did, a full-on James Brown kind of bridge just by taking it to the 4. And this is the bridge. Repeat it. And then, after the bridge plays, it goes back into the groove. And on until the break of dawn, and still too many notes, but I like them. And so as long as I'm doing this, I've created an ending. Wait for it. There it is. Okay. And then I could stitch this all together. I mean, I don't have to use Scotch tape like we did back in the old days when you're cutting up analog tape. But then I could just piece it together with the intro and then the first half of the solo. When I did the verse, I played with it. I repeated it a couple of times and put a break in it by starting the intro again, and that wound up being like this. repeated the bit. So this is all like after the fact, creating a form out of something that I'd already recorded. And then, you know, if you know Ableton or any DAW, then you can just stitch this together, and there you go. And then after I did that, I exported it as finished audio, but I edited it even further. I nipped and tucked a few extra things on there. And so that's how I used a Miles Davis production technique in my DAW. I'd like to make a video of the finished mastered thing. I don't know if I would get a chance to, but because in my head I really did picture this being like a roadhouse, you know, like the old school where everybody's shooting pool and it's people smoking cigarettes and all that. You know, that doesn't happen anymore. But that kind of scene, you know, the clink of beer bottles and broken glasses, maybe a fight breaks out, and you know, I'd like to hear some of those noises, the crack of pool balls being racked up. I'd like that to be in the thing, and shoot a video just in find a roadhouse out somewhere somewhere between here and Vegas. There's probably several of them. So anyway, so that's it. That's the technique, and I'll tack on a little bit of the finished tune at the end of this, and you can check it out. But it's a good technique is to improvise. I mean, the essence of it is to improvise. Take away, don't worry about structure. If you got a thing and you're going on it and you're grooving with it, just go. And then after you're done, you can sit back and then go, you know what would be cool is if this and that and the other. And that's how Miles and Teo Macero did those albums that really changed everything. Just, you know, the groundbreaking, amazing records, which this is not, but it's a fun jam. So with that in mind, I'll let you listen to how it turned out, and I'll get out of here. I may not put the whole thing on here because I still want to do that video, or I might put the whole thing on there. I don't know. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time down the road. I'll see you at the roadhouse at the end of the road. Ciao.